Having just went through the crazy process of applying for the match and, thank God, successfully matching, we thought it would be a good idea to make a video on the timeline and important dates that you need to know about for the match. Now, keep in mind that this is as of the 2013 match, and that things might change in the future. Furthermore, we're going to focus on the regular match that the majority of students apply into. Keep in mind that there are groups of people that have to apply for the early match, and that includes people going to the military match, optional match, or urology. Now, let's get started. There are two main groups / applications that you need to know about. The first is the NRMP, which stands for the National Resident Matching Program, and the second is ERAS, or the Electronic Residency Application Service. ERAS will essentially be your application to residency programs, and the NRMP really is just registering for the match. Now, what exactly does all of this look like? In late June or early July, your medical school will send you an email with your ERAS token, which lets you get into your My ERAS application, which again is just the online application you use to apply for residency. Your ERAS application officially opens on July 1st, which means you can start working on it then. On September 1st, NRMP registration opens. And again, this is just registering for the match itself. This isn't a big deal, just remember to get it done by the deadline, which is November 30th. Now, here's an important date. September 15th is the first day that you can submit your ERAS application, which means that you'll have about 2.5 months to work on it from when it first opens on July 1st. We'll have another video that talks about the ERAS application in more detail, but it's really not that bad of an application. The thing that takes the most time on it is probably your personal statement, so you should try working on it early instead of doing it last minute. Now, September 15th is the first day that you can submit your application, but that doesn't mean you have to. There's a crowd of people who are fanatical about having the application ready on this day because they think it'll give them an advantage. If a residency program is rolling, it might give you more options for picking interview dates, but in our experience, it probably doesn't make too much of a difference if you submit up to 1 week after the 15th. In fact, the three of us all submitted about 1 week after September 15th, and we all did very well with interviews and matching. Later than that, and you're probably putting yourself at a disadvantage. There's a couple of reasons why this is so. First, your school's dean's letter isn't released to residency programs until October 1st. The other reason is that some programs wait a while for applications to pile in and then send out all of their invites in one or multiple batches, and they at least glance at or screen all of the applications they have. So you're really not at a disadvantage as long as you get in your application within a reasonable time frame. Some of the more competitive programs don't send out their invites until much later because they want to take more time to be selective. Anyway, we already mentioned that your medical school's dean's letter, which is basically the school's summary of your performance in medical school, is released to residency programs on October 1st. It used to be on November 1st, which was really late, so a lot of programs didn't even look at it before sending out their invites. Now, however, because it's moved up to October 1st, programs might try to make more use of it, and some are probably waiting for it to come out before making decisions. We also mentioned the NRMP registration deadline on November 30th. Just make sure to get that in. So in between whenever you submit your ERAS application and February, you'll be receiving interview invites as well as going on interviews. I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna be pretty busy. Try to enjoy the experience. Going on interviews is also a great excuse to travel and see friends from across the country, so it can actually be pretty fun. In terms of actual number of interviews you should go on, that really depends on the specialty and how competitive you are, but for internal medicine, a general rule of thumb is to go on at least 10 interviews. We'll touch more on interviews and traveling in other videos. On January 15th, you will be able to put in your rank lists for residency programs for the match. This is where you say program blah is my first choice, program blah is my second choice, etc. The deadline for this is February 20th. March gets pretty busy, so I'm going to try to zoom this in for you guys. On March 11th at 12 p.m., if you match in a program at all, you will receive an email telling you this. Now, you won't know where you've matched, but it's definitely a big relief to see that you have matched somewhere. If you don't get an email on this day, then unfortunately that means that you did not match, which means that you should look into the Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program, or SOAP, which is basically another parallel match for applicants who did not match in programs with unfilled spots. This occurs between March 11th and March 15th. March 15th is of course Match Day, the day that everyone has been waiting for to find out where they will be going for residency. You do get an email at 1 p.m. telling you where you've matched, but different schools have different ceremonies and events to celebrate Match Day. For example, our school has this thing where starting at 12 p.m., we go up one by one to get our letters, and if we choose to, announce it to the rest of our class. It's definitely a crazy and emotional day, but people are pretty excited and happy to find out where they've matched, and we hope that's what happens to you as well. Hopefully this video was useful to give you an idea of what applying for residency and a match is going to look like. Best of luck with applications, interviews, and a match. Lastly, here's a brief outline of the important dates to keep track of. Thanks for watching.